Renault Kiger gets a facelift, new face, new colors, new features, and more importantly, 6 airbags as standard. But is that enough in today's sub 4 meter SUV game? Let's find out. So what's new? New 2D logo, new alloy wheels, a funky new Oasis Yellow shade, fresh cabin colors with yellow stitching, new features like ventilated seats, auto headlamps and auto wipers, and more importantly, 6 airbags as standard across all variants. That's the facelift in a nutshell. The Kiger is Renault's second launch this year, after the Triber, and part of their 5-product push till 2027. Now about that face. Gone is that large logo that you used to see on the Kiger earlier, and now it has this new 2D badge that Renault is going to use on all its cars in India. It gets a sleeker upper portion of the grille. This larger intake right here now gets fog lamps on the sides in the bumper. All of that gives it a very tagra vibe that the Kiger earlier was missing, especially this sculpted bonnet, which this bulge makes it look like it's from a muscle car. And now when you come onto the side, you can see that the alloy wheels have a much better design. And at the back, not a lot has changed. It still gets the same C-shaped LED tail lamps, but with slightly different elements inside, and of course, you get a slightly different bumper and the new 2D logo. Step inside and the cabin feels fresher too. The old all-black setup is out, replaced by this black and grey cabin with yellow contrast stitching. Even on the logo, it makes the cabin feel livelier and less cramped. Practical bits stay the same. Dual glove boxes with a cooled lower one, wireless charger and cup holders. But the big new addition is ventilated front seats. Sure, rivals like the Nexon and Sonet already have them, but the Kiger is now the most affordable car in India to get this cool feature. Add in auto headlamps and auto wipers, and daily driving just got a little bit easier. The biggest update though is safety. 6 airbags are now standard across the range. The Kiger's platform mate, the Magnite, just bagged a 5-star rating under the new global NCAP protocols. The Kiger previously managed 4 stars in 2022 under the older system. With 6 airbags now, things should only get better. The Kiger still comes with a choice of a 1-litre petrol and a 1-litre turbo-petrol engine, with the option of a 5-speed manual, 5-speed AMT and a CVT. We had the turbo-petrol MT with us, the most fun one of the lot. We are driving the Kiger on ICAT, the proving grounds right outside Delhi, so we don't really have a real-world experience of what it's going to feel like. But it still has those 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal and Sport. And it's one of the few cars in the mass market segment where you can actually feel a noticeable difference between all the 3 modes. Eco feels the most restrained, Normal doesn't feel very different, and Sport, as the name suggests, is the sportiest of the lot, and you can actually feel the engine being peppier, punchier and more agile. Now Renault says it has worked on the NVH levels of the Kiger with the facelift by adding a few components, changing a few things here and there. And to be honest, on a flat surface like this, you won't really notice the difference. You'll actually notice it outside the track, in the real world, with a lot of traffic around you. So we'd reserve our comments on if it's actually improved until we drive it out on the road. But here's the question. In a sea of sub-4 meter SUVs, the Punch, the Exter, the Nexon, the Venue, Sonet, can the Kiger make its mark? Renault sold under 10,000 units in the past 1 year, while its cousin, the Magnite, managed 25,000 units in the same period. Mind you, that also included the facelift that launched in India in October last year. The Punch and Exter have a lower price point, both at the lower end and top end. Even his cousin, the Magnite, is 15,000 rupees cheaper, but his top end is more expensive. And all the other rivals, the Venue, Sonet, Nexon, and the likes, start at a much higher price point. So, will this update finally help the Kiger make waves instead of just being a droplet? Will buyers warm up to this French SUV the way they once did with the Duster? That's the battle Renault is fighting, and your guess is as good as mine.